Audie Murphy wasn't just the most decorated American soldier of World War II, he was also a Western legend. These are the best Westerns starring the man who gave us more than one reason to tip our hats. Audie Murphy's last 7 films for Universal International don't get a lot of love, but Hellbent for Leather is a standout. In this one, Murphy's mistaken for a murderer, and a marshal, played by Stephen McNally, knows he's innocent but still wants the reward and glory. Shot in Lone Pine in CinemaScope and directed by George Sherman, this Western has a great cast, including John Quallen and Bob Steele. It's definitely worth another watch if it's been a while. 7 Ways from Sundown is another solid entry in Murphy's Universal International run. Murphy plays a Texas Ranger tasked with capturing an outlaw, while also dealing with Apaches and bounty hunters. Barry Sullivan delivers a great performance, with John McIntyre and Kenneth Tobey rounding out the cast. There was some real behind-the-scenes drama on this one. Murphy and director George Sherman had a falling out, leading to Sherman being replaced by Harry Keller. Despite the tension, this is one of Murphy's better Westerns and comes highly recommended. Showdown has Audie shackled to killer Harold J. Stone, literally around the neck, as they make their escape. Things get tense with stolen bonds, a gang holding his partner hostage, and Kathleen Crowley in the mix. Directed by Robert Springsteen and shot in black and white by Ellis Carter, this one has a gritty, old-school feel. Murphy was furious about the black and white choice, but it paid off, earning about the same as his other films from that era. This was also the last Western released under the Universal International name. Audie's character and his dad, played by Dean Jagger, have been hiding in the mountain for years. A chance meeting with Wanda Hendrix's character brings civilization to their doorstep, where it's not welcome. Murphy and Hendrix were newlyweds when production started, but separated before the film's release, making Sierra the only movie they did together. The film also features some nice horse action, although some of it was recycled from Red Canyon, released in 1949. In Ride a Crooked Trail, Audie plays fugitive bank robber Joe Maybe, who steals the identity of a marshal and gets roped into actually being one. Walter Matthau is a standout as the town's judge, and Murphy has to claim his old flame, played by Gia Scala, as his wife to protect his cover. Directed by Jesse Hibbs, who worked with Audie before on To Hell and Back, this Western was his last feature film before embarking on a busy run, about a decade, as a TV director. Shot in CinemaScope and Eastman color, it's a fun one to watch, especially with Walter Matthau in the mix. For the 1954 remake of Destry, Universal cast Audie Murphy and Murray Blanchard in the roles originally played by James Stewart and Marlene Dietrich in Destry Rides Again, 1939. Directed by George Marshall, who helmed both versions, this remake gives Murphy a chance to play against type, and he nails it. Wallace Ford is always great to watch, and Murray Blanchard shines. The story focuses on Tom Destry, the son of a legendary gunman, brought in to clean up a corrupt town after the sheriff's mysterious death. It's a solid Western with some great performances and plenty of charm. Arizona Raiders has Murphy and William Whitney keeping the 50s Western thing going as long as they can. Shot at Old Tucson, this one features Murphy as part of a group recruited to join the Arizona Rangers after almost being wiped out by Quantrill's gang. It's actually a remake of Texas Rangers, 1951, and while the plot's familiar, it's good to see Murphy doing what he does best. Fun fact, Murphy's salary for this film was $45,000. Pretty solid pay for keeping the Western flame going. To Hell and Back is the true story of Audie Murphy's life as the most decorated soldier in US history. Based on his autobiography, Murphy plays himself in this World War II epic, though he initially didn't want to. He felt it might seem like he was cashing in on his heroism. He even suggested his friend Tony Curtis for the role. They starred in 3 Westerns together. The film was a massive box office hit for Universal, holding the record until Jaws came along in 1975. It's a powerful story and one of Murphy's most personal projects. The Duel at Silver Creek is Don Siegel's first Western and his first color film. The story follows Marshal Tyrone and the Silver Kid as they team up against a gang of claim jumpers. Fast-paced and full of fun Western conventions, this one's got a solid supporting cast, including Lee Marvin in his first Western role. Siegel's original cut was barely an hour long, and the prologue was added to stretch the runtime, but it works seamlessly. Siegel and Murphy would team up again for The Gun Runners, 1958. Audie Murphy's last film had a rough go from start to finish. Murphy teamed up with director WWII to form their own company to produce it. The project faced relentless setbacks. The sets were destroyed twice, and it never saw proper distribution in the United States. Money was tight, and the film ended up several minutes shorter than planned, forcing Murphy to spend over a year and a half fundraising to complete post-production. It's a tough one to track down, but it's a must-see for fans of Murphy's work.